expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch, screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids, Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is, your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. May 2024, it seems like the year is going fast. It's already May, a couple days before Memorial Day, which means it's only about 20-something days before the summer solstice, and you know how that go, man. DeeTrynt, GameChangaSportsTalk, InDaStreetzSportz, streaming on multiple media platforms, man. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at InDaStreetzSportz or at DeeTrynt. If you miss any of the live recordings, you can always catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public. Just look for the InDaStreetzSportz channel. Get in there, like, subscribe, share, follow. You'll find Game Changer Sports Talk with DeeTrynt. And, get all that hot content that we got for you. Also, make sure you go to the InDaStreetzSportz.com website. You find the latest stories on Little League, Major League, Side League, AAA, AA, AAU. You know, we talk about it all right? It's a pleasure having you all here. It's been a while, right? I hope everybody's summer has been great, or spring has been great. I hope 2024 has been great. Me, myself, look, it's just been one thing after another, right? And they say the Almighty gives his strongest, his hardest, toughest battles to his strongest warriors, right? You get to some point in the time where you try to ask yourself, like, well, how strong are you actually supposed to be, right? But I learned in life, like, why question, right? You take what you can learn from whatever you go through, and you try to apply it the best way you can, right? We don't always know what's going to be the outcome of everything, or what's going to be, the best solution to everything. But you just try to put your best foot forward, right? You try to make the most out of what you have and what you can do. And you know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is, right? But it has been nice to be back outside, right? I haven't really been outside since I've been back in Cleveland. I haven't really been looking to engage with a lot of people or talk to them or have a lot of conversations, because my mind has just been so cocooned, right? And I'll use the word cocoon because, there's a rebirth after you break out of the shell, right? But it's been a cocoon, it's been me just figuring it out, right? And one thing about me is that over these years of my life, I have built up an abundance of resources and connections and a lot of paying it forward in my life, right? So it allows me the luxury and the liberties that a lot of people don't have, right? A lot of people can't just go in anybody's neighborhood and just chill, right? A lot of people just can't go to any section of the city and, know people and be comfortable or know what's going on, right? Very few of us understand this to a magnitude where we're able to allow other people in our lives to benefit from these things, right? There's so many things we go through in life, and so much leadership that's involved when it comes to evolving and getting better, and just learning, right? Um, but something we all learned a few days ago, right? JB got fired. If you didn't know, you are learning, right? DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Store, streaming on multiple media platforms, man. If you, whatever platform you're watching it on, it should be a link in your chat. If you want to come up, talk your stuff. If you just want to, type your stuff, it don't matter. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, we sharing it all. This is what's going on. But JB, y'all, JB, Ja Blair Bickerstaff. All right. A guy who took over the reins when LeBron left. LeBron left 2017, 2018, right? Bron leaves and we're stuck with, and I mean no rudeness when I say this, right? But this is just the reality of the situation, right? We were stuck with Tristan Love, J.R. Smith. We drafted Colin Sexton, who none of them liked, right? Which is a reoccurring thing, right? Because when Kyrie got here, people act like none of them liked him. When LeBron got here, people act like none of them liked him. Like, so, that's a crazy thing to have a stigma on your city, right? In the culture of this team, right? That when it's time for us to be able to get some new blood in that could potentially help the team become something, that the people who are already there feel some type of way. Listen, bro. Last time I checked, performance dictates and determines outcomes. So if you're on a squad and your squad, ain't good or hasn't performed well, how you gonna get mad that your team is in the position to pick somebody that's probably better than y'all? I ain't saying that the person coming in is going to be better than you. It's just a principle thought. Like, how could you be really upset about this when you're going to ask for help? When you ask for help, as the saying goes, beggars can't be choosy. When you're asking for help, you got to appreciate the help you get and utilize it in a way that's most beneficial for you versus whining and crying. I think we had Jordan Clarkson over here. We still had Larry Nance Jr., which, looking at this now, right? You think about the type of team that was here when JB first took over, and Kobe Altman first took over. Well, when Kobe Altman first took over, right? Because JB came after Ty Lue got let go in that year where LeBron left, right? But that team wasn't that horrible, right? That team needed a leader, right? Somebody who come in and get buckets. One thing we can't say about Colin Sexton is Colin get buckets. Colin got a killer instinct, almost like a second coming of a Kyrie. I'm not saying his game is a second coming of a Kyrie. I'm not saying he's the finisher like Kyrie, but his tenacity, his relentlessness, his unwillingness to back down from anybody. Come on, bro, let's be real. This Colin was that type of dude. He over in Utah, and he's still that type of dude. So, he get over here, all right, it don't work out, it ain't what they think it was gonna be. Okay, boom. Now they get JB in, boom, they start reshuffling. JB first year, he wins 22 games, right? JB second year, he in 22 games, right? Now, understand, how does this, just to keep y'all updated right now, JB got fired, right? And I'm pointing some of these things out because I want you to understand that what JB is getting fired for, he's had a problem with since he's been here. So we're giving him all the leeway of he's a young coach. This is really his first legit tenure as a head coach, being able to do the things for NBA club the way he would like to do them. Highly understandable, right? Cool. Second year they win 22 games, right? First year you get Colin. Second year he gets Darius Garland, Kevin Porter Jr., and Dylan Windler, right? Okay, boom. You get the next year, you get Isaac Okoro, and I think it was just Isaac, right? And then the next year you get Evan Mobley, right? In the process, you then traded for Jared Allen. You then found a way to get Karis LeVert. You just swung a deal for Lauri Markkanen, right? In my opinion, that was a good team, right? Colin, Garland, LeVert, Markkanen, Mobley, Allen. The thing that JB has struggled with the entire time, personnel usage, situational awareness, the unwillingness to do things that he's uncomfortable with, but it makes sense for the game. The unwillingness to challenge the referees on things that they know is not right. His inability to develop younger talent. His stubbornness to utilize every asset as his availability to try to get the best outcome possible. These are things JB Bickerstaff has been abysmal at since the beginning. Now, at present day and time, I would not still consider him abysmal at these areas. I would definitely say he's improved, right? DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Make sure y'all follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live recordings, you can definitely catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and multiple other podcast streaming services. Just look for the Industry Sports channel. So like, subscribe, share, follow. You'll find Game Changer Sports Talk with DeeTrynt. Like, subscribe, share, follow. All right. And also, segment today brought to you by Tabletop Solutions, right? Looking for work? You want to travel? Got your license? You good with people? Would you like to be able to control your own money flow? Uncapped potential, right? And I think it may be some opportunities available for you, man. If you are interested, right? I want you to show up to 1536 St. Clair Avenue, downtown Cleveland, 11 a.m. 10:30, 11 a.m. and ask for Vaughn. He gonna put you together, man. Holler at my boy Vaughn. He gonna put you together. Tabletop Solutions. That's who bring you the segment today, all right? So, JB Bickerstaff has not evolved in these areas, right? What more examples you want me to give you, right? The play-in, right? Now, one thing I will one of the first things I want to credit JB Bickerstaff with is taking a non-culture dysfunctional organization and grounding it and giving it something to build off of. Nobody can take that from JB. One thing that he has checked off in his tenure, in my opinion, is the ability to take a young squad and turn it into something, right? Turn it into something, right? One of the hardest parts of being a coach or being a leader is actually getting the people to come together to work together. Working in unison is the next step. You got to actually get them to work together. So not only did he get them to work together, but he also was able to weed out the knuckleheads. He also had Kobe Altman behind him, right? Now, for those that don't know, right, I call this regime the Altman Group. This is what I call it. This is the Altman Group. Everything that's being discussed and done is all Kobe Altman, right? I'm not going to say that, owner Dan Gilbert has or hasn't had his, implement or, about whatever case scenarios, right? But I fully believe 95% of everything has been done has been the final say on Kobe, right? I don't think Kobe has done a piss poor job personally, but we ain't talk about Kobe right now. I just want you to know I call this regime the Altman Group. Okay, so JB has built a solid foundation here. He's weeded out the knuckleheads. He has taught this squad how to play together, right? How to play with one another, right? He's taught them how to play team defense, right? What he didn't teach them was, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. So interesting sports development, right? It's amazing how we hoard things, right? And in this thing, we have found a lot of antique items, sports items specifically. That's why that's why I was getting the call. All right, so Kobe Altman, I mean not Kobe Altman, JB Bickerstaff, right? Um, so again, he's taught them how to play with each other. He's taught, team basketball. He's taught team defense, which should definitely get even more credit for teaching team defense because there's so many coaches and there's so many tenured coaches and so many coaches that people consider so top tier that cannot teach team defense. And I genuinely believe JB taught these young players how to play team defense. And it's amazing that he taught it to 18 to 19, 20, 21 year olds, right? Let's be clear about this. His team has been young the whole time. JB Bickerstaff just got some real veterans this season, all right? And that's cool, right? I just want to make sure I'm giving him some P's as I'm laying it out why JB got fired, right? Because a lot of people are just up in arms at why JB got fired. Oh, he shouldn't have got fired. Oh, who you gonna get in there better than him? And all this woody woody why, right? All right. Let me tell you. As a leader, attitude reflects leadership. Kevin Porter Jr. is a exception to this case, right? Because he hasn't figured out how to be consistent anywhere. But Houston got him to play good basketball for at least 2.5 seasons. Let's be very clear. At one point in time, Cleveland was considered stupid for giving Kevin Porter Jr. away. Even though a lot of us understand he was considered stupid. But JB got these guys to play together, right? But JB still couldn't get Kevin Porter and them on the right. He couldn't get them together. You feel me? For sure. He couldn't get it right, but at least in Houston, you got to see what Kevin Porter could become. Imagine if he was still here on the Cavs team, like certain things wouldn't happen, right? But that's not necessarily JB's fault because at that point in time, JB had just inherited a dysfunctional locker room. Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr. Like, no offense, I'm not bagging on these guys, but that's a hell of a eclectic of personalities to inherit on your first full tenure as a head coach. Bro, that's a lot. Because they got egos and you're trying to build your ego. Let's be very clear about this, right? But he did it. Is my whole point. He did it, right? But even in the process of doing this, JB Bickerstaff hasn't figured out how to get the most out of his players. JB Bickerstaff doesn't ride the hot hand. JB Bickerstaff hasn't figured out that it is very hard to win an NBA championship with your leading scorer being a guard. People's going to say, oh, Steph Curry did it. And that's fair. Well, who's on Steph Curry's team? Was he not part of what is considered the greatest assembled team ever? 73-9. Right? So, that's one, right? You're going to say Isaiah Thomas? Okay, that's two. But Isaiah Thomas was 89, 88, 89, 89, 90, right? Steph Curry was 2014. Who the fuck was winning? Excuse my French. Who was winning championships in between? If I may ask, right? Who's winning championships in between this time? Big men, exceptional wingmen, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys, 6'7" guys, 6'6" guys. You have to be able to consistently put pressure on a defense at the rim to have a chance at winning a championship. Your leading scorer has to have the ability to put pressure on the rim. If anybody, for all y'all basketball gurus, right? Basketball gurus, right? Why has LeBron James been unstoppable? Because what can you not stop LeBron James from doing? What can you not stop him from doing? Going to the hole. The only way you can really stop him from going to the hole is by doubling him or tripling him and forcing him to put himself in bad scenarios where he can't get rid of the ball. Most coaches hate and love LeBron because even with that ability, he's still an exceptional passer. So there is a less than 10% chance on, or even 5% chance on every play that you're going to put LeBron in a bad situation where he can't make a play for himself or someone else. Any coach in the world is taking those odds with that player. Okay? This is just fundamental basketball one-on-one, right? When your leading scorer can put pressure on the hole, it causes the entire defense to have to collapse on the hole. It puts people in charge of protecting the rim in foul trouble, which now lesser versions of those players have to now come into the game. Basketball is chess. It's not run up and down and shoot threes. It's not let me get the crossover and make the pretty pass. It's not none of that. It's literally divide, attack, and conquer. You're separating from a defender to get the lane that gives you the best option to put the ball in the hole. Any shot within 10 feet is a great shot. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. That is the best shot you can have in basketball, is a shot at the rim, uncontested. or little contest. You don't believe me, right? Right? Just a little bit to say, right? Kyrie Irving plays for Dallas, right? Do you know why him and Luka are so formidable? Which one of them can you stop from getting in the paint? Name me one. Which one can you stop? Right? And even if they don't get in the paint, they can lob it to a Gafford, or they can lob it to a Lively, or they can lob it to a PJ Washington who's in the paint. Or they can kick it out to a Tim Hardaway Jr. who's going to shoot the tray, to a Jaden Hardy who's going to shoot the tray, to a Josh Green who's going to shoot the tray. Now they're unguardable. But do you know where they got that from? They got that from LeBron. Or LeBron got it from Mark Price. But this is a whole nother conversation, right? Let's get back to JB, right? So JB's inability to understand that your guard being your number one scoring option is never going to win you a championship was his biggest failure. You got to get to the root of the problem. It was his biggest failure. You have Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen down there. You are the only team that had two legit bigs that you could actually utilize because they both run the floor and they both have enough post and athletic moves to blow by defenders. JB never schemed up a way or made a priority to constantly get these bigs in mismatches to allow them to take advantage of the defense. He never allowed either one of these bigs to develop some type of game to help his guards on offense. They were literally pick and roll, pick and pop, and get the scraps. What type of offense is that? Isaac Okoro is an athletic wing with springs who can hit the mid-range. He has tenacity. He don't back down. You don't even use his tenacity to make the defense respect the rest of the team. Attitude reflects leadership. If the players on the floor don't want to listen to what the coach got to say, it's the coach's fault. Again, this team has won more games than the previous year every year he's been here. Every year he's been here, he's gotten better as a coach in some aspects of respect. His learning curve just too slow for me. Also, right before we end this, DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. If follow us on IG at Industry Sports, or follow us or follow me, DeeTrynt, on IG as well. If you missed the live records, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, or various other streaming platforms. Just follow the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. In there, you'll see Game Changer Sports Talk with DeeTrynt. You do the same with that as well. Also, go to the InDaStreetzSportz.com website where we got different articles and videos, and we talk about everything dealing with sports, right? If you have something that you want to get heard about sports, hit us up, man. Hit us up at InDaStreetzSportz@gmail.com or DeeTrynt@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? Or leave a comment on the website under some articles. We'll respond. All right? But JB fired himself. And now, because of his inability to maximize what he has and make the best of it, he is no longer here. This Cleveland media, who's, terrible, right? And this is not an attack, right? I want to be very clear. This is not an attack. But the Cleveland media is horrible. Why are y'all horrible? Why do I say this? 90% of your articles are negative connotation and tone when it comes to player, personnel, and team aspects. to be beat writers and speakers for a team, you all sound like haters and bitter. It takes for most people to come on Twitter Spaces, shout out to Off the Clock, to come on Twitter Spaces and come into Cleveland Spaces to figure out what's actually going on with the team that's tangible enough to create storylines with. Right? But that goes into a bigger problem. Who can the Cavs get in here to replace JB? First off, anybody talking about breaking this team up immediately, I don't want that coach. All right? I understand, right? It is some names out there, that given how things are presently right now, I would be okay with moving some pieces. I don't want them to. I'm a firm believer, excuse me, y'all. I am a firm believer in utilizing what you have and making the most of what you have, all right? And what we have right here is championship talent on the team. When you think about what this team has, I need that water. When you think about what this team has, and this is just something else to go back to why JB, he was out of pocket. JB could have ran 2 different 5-man squads and ran the table. Right? The table set up perfectly for him. You got to follow the signs, man. It don't matter that everybody else don't think it's right. How you know people gonna know it's right? Because of the results, right? And so what happened? Garland gets injured, Mobley gets injured. It forces Okoro, Strus, and Dean Wade to have to start. They had to put Donovan Mitchell at the point and let Jarrett Allen play the 5 as basically the only big. They went on an 18-game winning streak. What coach in his right mind breaks up that starting 5? Oh, Garland gets paid $240 million to be a team player. He's a superstar, but you're the superstar of a team. The team aspect is still relevant. So, if you wanted the team to prosper, right? Okay, I got an 18-game going streak with the squad I got. Okoro is getting a lot more, and he's developing. Strus is fitting in nice. We paid Dean Wade this money last year. It's starting to pay off. Why break that up? Right? Every last one of those players are older than the few guys that was going to come off the bench. So in basketball terms, it fit, right? Because if this was old school basketball, nobody would bat an eye. Garland, Mobley, and LeVert should have came off the bench for the rest of the season. And JB should have ran 2 5s. He should have ran the 5. That gave him Mitchell, Okoro, Strus, Wade, and Allen. Then he could have came off the bench. I would have, listen, I'm so shrewd with it, bruh. I would have took that whole 5 off. This how shrewd I would have been with the lineup. I'd have took the whole fucking 5 off. Excuse my French. I would have took the whole 5 off. When I sub, I'm letting them play the first 8 minutes of the game. They running. The first 8 minutes of the game, they running. You hear me? They're running. It's just them. Go play. When we get to that 7-8 minute mark, I'm subbing in a whole new 5 because I can. Garland, LeVert, Mobley, Niang. You could have picked a player to put in between that. You got Damon Jones. You never use Damon Jones. Damon Jones is 6'10", 6'11". He can block shots. He can run the floor. He got a jumper. You never even used him. and you needed big man help. JB Bickerstaff is inexcusable. But me, I would have just ran that, right? What team could survive that? Let's be very clear. What team could survive that? What team could survive Donovan Allen and them coming at you relentlessly? Then I can sit them on the bench for 7 minutes to rest, and I can run Garland, Mobley, LeVert, Yang, and whoever for another 7 minutes. No team could do that. Off that alone, the Cavs could have won 60 games. In my opinion. Off that strategy alone. And guess what would have happened in the process? Now when Mobley and Garland come in the game, they have to worry about scoring. What is the issue everybody has with Garland and Mobley right now? They don't score consistently enough. Crazy how that would have took care of itself. Crazy how attacking the root problem take care of so many other issues at one time. JB would have been credited for innovating the game and figuring out how to utilize everything on your roster with that young. Donovan Mitchell would have had no problem with this. You know why? Because every time he get in the game, he a dog. And then to end the game, I would have ran to end the games. When I got to end games and I need buckets, then I would have ended the game with Garland, Mitchell, LeVert, Allen, and Mobley. Those would have been my 5-minute closers. Every game I'm closing with them. Because running is a 48-minute game, right? So for 43 minutes, I'm just alternating fives that's running at you full speed, bruh. Full speed. You can't look. Hey, so before we close it out and I get these other comments off, man, I'm celebrating, or we're celebrating here at InDaStreetzSportz, Game Changer Sports Talk's 100th episode, man. 100th episode, bro. It's been 100 episodes. That's crazy. I appreciate InDaStreetzSportz and everybody involved with InDaStreetzSportz for not only granting me the opportunity, for believing in me, for sticking with me, bro. Like, I appreciate it, man. I really love sports, and I really love talking and debating about sports. There's no malice with it. I'm not like one of those extra, I'm not a fanatic. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fanatic, right? My day's not all the way, my life's not in shambles if something happens to my team or my favorite player, right? But I love sports. And I just get real with y'all for a second. I love sports because of what it teaches you about life. My favorite sport is football, right? Football teaches you how to work with others, how different parts of a machine work in unison for ultimate goal. It teaches you how to be respectful. It teaches you discipline and how to take care of yourself. It gives you routine. It gives you structure. It gives you format. The same thing that they say the Army will do, football does it. When basketball is taught right, that does it. Soccer, football, it does it. Hockey does it. Baseball does it. A lot of people brag on sports. They try to say this and that about sports. And I feel like more people say that are not athletic. People love to hate something that they cannot do. All right. But sports gives you a lot of discipline. It teaches you a lot about life and how to survive in life. If you start understanding that everything you learn is universal in principle. It is universal in principle. So it's not going to apply the exact same way in different aspects, but the principle still applies. So thank you all for coming, being here. JB Bickerstaff, he's out of here. On another segment, we will talk about who I think should get the shot, what they should bring to the table, And we get a little more in depth about the actual personnel on the roster, and where I wouldn't make changes. But DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, man. We up out of here. Have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine. One.